Here we have spring on top and winter on the bottom. Welcome to Blooming Wildwood Homestead. It is April 11th and we have snow on the ground. Not something that you see frequently here. I can't remember a time when this has been the case. You never know what kind of weather we're going to be looking at as we are trying to get into gardening season and really, you know, kick off this time of the year. It's a little bit challenging at the moment. So all of this has got me to thinking that maybe it's important to go ahead and be a little more prepared for different types of weather and different types of climate changes that can occur during the course of the growing season. Just because that you might have had one particular pattern that you have seen during the course of growing and during the course of gardening doesn't mean that things might not change, or you might not get some sort of freak storm like we did today that will cause you to have to shift gears a little bit and maybe protect your plants in a different way than what you would have previously. So I want to look at a few things that you might want to consider having on hand depending on where you live. So right now, let's go take a look at some of my transplants that I was previously trying to harden off in the greenhouse and see if they survived this cold snap that we had here. And we'll just take a look at how they're doing. I've had these guys out here for a little bit, trying to harden them off. I ran out of space indoors under the light, and these little guys have been hanging out down here. I have some broccoli, some cabbage, purple of Sicily cauliflower, which is delicious, and some Brussels sprouts actually in the back, trying to grow a little bit. So these guys are currently in a greenhouse, and you might want to consider some type of a greenhouse setup where you've got a place to put your plants to harden them off. Also, just to protect them from some of the cool nights, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, where, you know, our days might be more mild and then we're getting some cooler nights. You might not want to put them out yet. And so having some sort of a structure just helps with that. And then in other areas where people are getting hit by a lot more rain than they're accustomed to, sometimes having some type of a structure can help to prevent your plants from drowning as well. So just consider whether or not that could be a helpful tool for you moving forward. If you don't have the space or the option of putting in some type of a greenhouse, you can kind of make a temporary version of your own. This is something that I did when I lived in town. I didn't have space for a greenhouse, and so I used some PVC pipe, clear plastic, and some clamp to make my own greenhouse. And that's a great way to protect against some of that cool weather when you want to get your crops in the ground, but it's maybe not totally past the time of potential frost. We are coming up to what I'm most nervous to check out. I have some of my largest pepper plants out here, and while they are under cover, I did double cover them and put some of this remate over the top. So this is something else that you might want to have on hand. It's not super thick, but it is just a nice way to lightly cover things if you know you're going to get a chilly night. And let's see how these guys are looking. Okay. All right. They don't look bad. Everything is looking pretty good. So just having that double coverage can really be a good thing. I'm going to leave them covered because it's still pretty cool out here, and I want them to continue to do well. Ruby enjoying the snow. So those are a few ideas of ways that you can prepare for unexpected cooler temperatures. On the flip side of things, it's not too early to start thinking about summer. I've already been seeing a lot of reports about potential droughts, a lot of heat. We ended up with that here last year in the Pacific Northwest. And so you might want to start thinking a little bit about how are you going to keep some of your plants cool? What if you get that freak day or 2 or 3 where it's going to be extremely hot and your plants just aren't accustomed to that. So looking into having some shade cloth on hand can be a great way to just shade your plants, cover them, get a little bit of cool on them so that they're not scorching and burning during the hottest part of the year. It's hard to know what this year is going to bring as far as the gardening season. And so my goal for you right now is, as you're looking at putting your plants into the ground, maybe you're in an area where you already have gotten some things in the ground, how can we look ahead to be prepared for some of those unexpected turns in weather? And that might just be as simple as having some remay on hand for cool nights that show up out of nowhere, and having a little bit of shade cloth for those unexpected really hot days. Whatever the case might be, and however you feel would help you to best be prepared, I would recommend that you take some steps to go ahead and do that now so that you don't get caught off guard. Be a little bit proactive. Look at how you can be prepared to make sure that your plants can be super successful this gardening season. If today's video was helpful to you, don't forget to like, and we would love to have you subscribe and be part of our community here at Blooming Wildwood Homestead. Until next time, bye everyone.